What's going on, guys? Welcome back to WWE Network and Show, where I, Graham G. and Matthews, break down all the original content you watch on the WWE Network, Peacock, and other streaming services. Today we're talking the WWE Next Gen show on the Roku Channel. If you haven't heard of it, I wouldn't be surprised, just because WWE, in my opinion, has not done a great job of advertising it. It kind of felt like a show they threw out there during WrestleMania week, because, hey, we got all this content, go check it out. They didn't really do a great job of advertising it, like I said. It's on the Roku Channel. It's not on Netflix or even Peacock. That week alone, they dropped the Bray Wyatt documentary, all the WrestleMania stuff, obviously. Other shows going live during that week. Dark Side of the Ring's been airing for the last 2 months. Not a lot of eyes or conversation surrounding the show, but it is a show worth watching. Now, if you watch Tough Enough back in the day, or even the Breaking Ground show that WWE did on the network about a decade ago, it's very similar to that, but with a modern-day flavor of their NIL program kind of mixed in. So it takes athletes from all over the country, and also athletes that are not American that have gone to American institutions and universities and stuff like that. Because they have like a Ukrainian girl who's actually on the show. She lives in America, but she's Ukrainian. She goes to school here in America. And she actually ends up going pretty far in the process. I won't spoil anything, but I think she does fairly well, and she has a pretty good run on the show, as well as other people from, other backgrounds and whatnot. But I think they do a great job of getting people from a variety of athletic backgrounds, whether it be football or gymnastics, kind of what we see right now in WWE and NXT. You see a lot of people come from track and field and baseball even, primarily football for the guys, but, across a lot of different walks of life in sports and just athletics in general. Some people translate really well, some people not so much. The most fascinating part of the show for me, people getting signed is obviously like the big draw of the show. Who's going to get signed to a contract, which I'll get back to that a little bit later on. But my favorite part of the show, the best part of the show for me, is the promo process. Now again, if you watch Tough Enough, if you watched Breaking Ground from 10 years ago, you would know what I'm talking about, because they include the promo process on those shows as well. Breaking Ground was after they were already signed. So Breaking Ground was a nice follow-up to the 2015 Tough Enough season that did not air on the network. That aired on USA Network, as well as the 2011 season. The other seasons, I think, also aired on USA. They might have aired on TNT or whatever. I don't remember. Spike, perhaps. That was a while ago. I didn't watch those first few seasons, the first early seasons of Tough Enough. But I think this show does a great job of showing you what it does indeed take, like literally what it takes to become a WWE superstar. All but one person are like a fan on the show. Not all but one. Only one person on the show is like a diehard WWE fan. At least the people that they showcased. There might have been more WWE fans, but maybe they felt they hit their quota on the show of showcasing actual fans of the product. There is one guy that kind of grew up watching and during like the Rey Mysterio era and the Triple H era, like in the mid-2000s. Only one guy, again, to my knowledge, has been an active, hardcore WWE fan from how long, I don't know, but pretty much his entire life up until now. When this show was filmed, it was filmed over Mania 39 weekend, so from whenever he was a kid up until now, he's been a hardcore WWE fan. His name is Kevin, I want to say Kevin Federline. Obviously, it's not Kevin Federline. I know that, and I'm saying that because he was involved in WWE so many years ago. It was like Kevin Feder or something like that. Feder, maybe, I don't remember. But he's a big guy. If you see his face here on the show, they show the clip that kind of, not went viral, but the clip of Undertaker's streak being broken in WrestleMania 30. Not the guy that went viral of like the shocked Undertaker streak guy, where his like mouth is open and shit. Not that guy with his eyes wide open. I'm not talking about that guy. There's another like youngish kid, probably in his late teens, early 20s, 10 years ago. Can't be that old because he was in college, I think, now. Probably a teenager at the time. I'm sure probably he couldn't have been 12. He looked like he was at least fucking 15, 16 years old. He was a big kid. He's one of the tallest guys on the show. They include him on the season. He's obviously a diehard WWE fan, so to see his approach to the promos and even the athletic stuff is interesting compared to the usual athlete that is not already, familiar or kind of anything along those lines with the WWE product. They're not really engrossed in the product as much as he is. So they have a nice variety. As far as the people they sign, again, I won't spoil it if you do intend to check out the show, and I do implore you to do so. It's a very entertaining show. there were, I will say, and you probably saw it a few weeks ago when they announced cuts from WWE, primarily from the developmental system of WWE, the NXT brand, the NXT branch. They did cut a few people that are on the show that got contracts. So if you watch the show and you weren't aware of who got cut, watch the show. I wouldn't, if you're not already aware of who got cut from this show, like who got signed and then later fired, don't look it up until after you're finished watching the show. It doesn't make the show pointless because there were still some people that were signed that do stick around and actually see on NXT TV on occasion and level up and stuff like that. So some people did amount to some success. Some people did unfortunately get cut. But they have Shawn Michaels on the show. He plays a pretty heavy role. He's he's the head of NXT and talent development and stuff like that. So NXT head Shawn Michaels is on the show. Matt Bloom, a lot like he was on Breaking Ground 10 years ago, very heavily involved in the show and giving them pointers and telling them what they want to see, what they don't want to see. Big E's actually on the show. So when I went to an NIL dinner about a year and a half ago over Royal Rumble weekend, WWE did an NIL dinner for some select members of the media right before the Rumble with some people that may have been interested in going to WWE. And I thought it was interesting, the people they had out to kind of see if they were interested in doing the whole WWE thing and whatnot. Big E was there, as well as that woman Morgan, who's also on the show. She's also involved in the talent development recruiting process. Her background I forget about, but we had a chance to chat with Big E and her actually at that dinner about a year and a half ago before they filmed this show, so I thought that was interesting. The guy that was in charge of that whole thing, the NIL program and hiring talent, actually got fired from WWE a couple weeks after that, so he's not on this show. But they're still continuing the program because they've continued to hire athletes and they hired people on this show and whatnot. And he told me at the time, like, if these people are not showing progress in 6 months to 12 months, we're going to have to let them go. And we've seen that with WWE stars, including some of these people on the show. So they don't really talk about the releases here because obviously this was filmed well before that. But it takes place over Mania 39 weekend, like I said. They take a trip to Mania after a batch of the recruits get signed. They meet Triple H, they meet John Cena, and a whole bunch of other WWE superstars backstage. They have other appearances throughout the show from main roster talent, like the Profits, like Bianca. Ric Flair shows up. This is when he was still kind of somewhat involved in WWE. Now he's in AEW, of course. But yeah, you get some familiar faces on the show giving pointers for what they would want to see in the athletic stuff and in the promo process. It's very interesting. It's a 8-episode show, I believe. I think it's 8 episodes, around an hour each. So in total, would probably take you between 7 to 8 hours to finish the whole show. Roku Channel, I don't know if you could pay for it, but it's a free channel, obviously. It has commercials, so it probably takes around an hour per episode. So it's around an 8-hour show, and an 8-hour show to completely watch the whole thing. We watched it in about a week. We watched it and we enjoyed it. I thought it was a very good show. So I would check it out on the Roku channel. Again, it's a free channel, I believe. I have a Roku, so that's why I get the Roku channel. If you don't have a Roku, I don't know how you can watch the show. But I thought it was weird they dropped it on the Roku channel because, again, not a lot of people go out of their way to watch the fucking Roku channel as opposed to Peacock or something like that, or even doing it on their own YouTube channel. But they probably struck a deal with the Roku channel to do the show and to showcase these athletes for whatever reason. And again, it's a good show. It's kind of hidden away, and you see advertisements for it. When I'm on Roku sometimes, I'll see advertisements for the show in my, like, the sidebar of the main Roku main menu. That might just be tailored to me because it knows what content I watch and shit. It obviously tracks what I watch. But I've seen it in public too. So, again, they have clips from the show on the WWE YouTube channel. So if you're not completely sold on watching it for my own review here, you could check it out for yourself on WWE social media. They dropped a whole bunch of YouTube videos and, like, clips from most episodes, if not all the episodes, on their own YouTube channel a couple weeks back, probably about a month ago. Like I said, it was released back on the 1st of April. They dropped it all at once, which didn't really help either. I know a lot of platforms do that, like Netflix does that, and WWE's done that with some stuff from, some stuff over the years. But I think it makes more sense, honestly, to drop things 1 week at a time so you get more conversation out of it and more people are talking about it and want to go out of their way to watch it and stuff like that. They didn't really do that. They dropped it all at once during Mania Week, forgot about it, and never really acknowledged it again. I see some advertisements for it at the bottom of the WWE, like, At the scroll thing at the bottom of their shows, they'll say Next Gen available now on the Roku Channel, blah, blah, blah. That's really about it. So, again, hear my words, though. I would not recommend the show if it wasn't good. I do thoroughly enjoy it for what it is. If you like Tough Enough, if you like Breaking Ground, it's a nice mix of both of those shows. I wish WWE did more of this sort of stuff and documented it, especially for anyone interested in getting into WWE. Now, if you're an indie guy, you're probably watching this and thinking, fuck, I have no chance, because these are all not high school, but college athletes with decorated backgrounds in athletics. And again, there are some fans in there, but primarily none of these guys are indie guys. So I don't know how they recruit people now. It kind of feels like they do sign some indie people, but it's far and few between, especially if they have prior notoriety in like AEW or something like that. But beyond that, they are signing a lot of athletes. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, I would implore you to take up a sport in high school or college and try to take that route. So check it out right now on WWE's, or I was going to say the WWE Network or on Peacock. It's on the Roku Channel, WWE Next Gen. I give it a thumbs up. I don't know if they would do another season because, again, I've heard nothing else about it. They fired some of the people that were hired, so again, I don't know if that hurts its chances of getting renewed. But it is a nice, enjoyable show. Check it out when you can on the Roku Channel. Thank you guys for checking out my review of WWE Next Gen here on the WrestleRant channel. Be sure to like the video, drop a comment, share the video, and subscribe to the channel for more daily content. A lot more reviews like this here on the channel. If you like this one, I break down Raw Talk and SmackDown Lowdown every single week. Like I said earlier, we break down Dark Side of the Ring. Did the entire 5th season. I've broken down every episode of Dark Side of the Ring in the past 5 years, all here on the channel in WWE Network and Chill. I did the Ronda Rousey book last week. That was a book review, not a show review, but we did a Ronda Rousey book review last week, so check that out when you can as well. Have a great one, guys. I'm Graham G. Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road.